Hi, I'm Margaret, and this is Commercial Buildings class. This is a class where we're going to look at the elements and components that go into a commercial building project, and then we're going to also think about how projects are managed and how they move from design through the construction process. So when you open the commercial buildings class, it will look like this, and you're probably familiar by now with the resources that we have along the right side here, including help desk and how to use Zoom and so on and so forth. And here's my email address up here at the top. And then over here on the left is the good old hamburger. When we click that, these choices appear. Click it again and they disappear. So you can make that visible or not as you wish. So let's look at what's in here. First of all, let's look at the syllabus. And I have opened that here. This is a Word document. And first of all, the so-called required text is not actually required. You do not have to buy this book. It's fabulously expensive, and I will give you everything you need to be successful in this class. If you have financial aid and they will pay for your books, go ahead and get it because it's a good reference source, but you don't have to have it. Now, supplies, something for backing up drawings. I said flash drive, but it could be an external hard drive or a cloud account or whatever you want. This is a drawing-heavy class, I would say. We're doing a number of drawings that have a bunch of stuff in them. And you should decide how much time you can afford to lose. That's how often you should save. And when you're done working, you should put that drawing into whatever backup place you have. Because I guarantee you bad things will happen. Flash drives go bad. Computers go bad. I have had that happen to me twice. I'm working along, all of a sudden, some random thing happens to my computer. And so, anyway, last year, we had a really random thing happen on campus where there was a mishap with a concrete pumping truck, and someone's office had liquid concrete pumped into the office up to the desk level. Well, who could foresee that? And hopefully that person had backed up all their work very, very recently, so nothing was lost. But I mean, my point is, you never know what can happen. So please, I beg of you, save often and be sure you keep backups and keep them current. All right, that's the end of my sermon about backing up. What do we got here? You should read through the syllabus here so you can see what the policies are about grading and incompletes and so forth. I want to call your attention to page 4 here, where you can find the contact information for your advisor. And it's a good idea to meet with Cheryl, your advisor, at least once a term to make sure you're taking things in the right order and you haven't missed anything and you've got what you need. And then under here is the Center for Accessible Resources, whom you can take advantage of if you have a diagnosed disability. If you have a learning difference or some physical issue and that's not registered with them, don't worry. Talk to me anyway and let me know what you need, and I am here to help. All right, I'll put that down there. Here is our schedule for the term. I like to put it in a table well, it's not a table, in an Excel spreadsheet, just because I can make lines, lines and boxes. I like that. So here's our schedule with the week numbers and the dates along the left. Here are the topics we're going to cover. And as you look at it, you'll see, well, we're going to start by learning what are the drawing standards for creating architectural drawings. And where do we get those standards? Then throughout the term, we'll look at various components that are part of a commercial project. Oh, and I should say, the very first day, we will look at what the heck is commercial anyway, and how does that differ from, let's say, a residential building? So we'll look at that. Then in the middle of the term, we will look at how projects are managed. Who are the key players? How do they do what they do? How can you communicate with them? Then we are hoping to have a virtual field trip with the building department. That's down here, and temporarily I put it in week 8. Last year we had a field trip with the building department by Zoom, and it was really super helpful. They've had some staff turnovers, and they're not quite sure they'll be able to accommodate us this term. So we're going to have to stay a little bit flexible there, but I will keep you posted on how that goes. Let me see. There are no due dates. I have suggested here, you notice suggested due dates, suggested due today. You really don't have to have everything done until the end of the term, but here's the thing. Whenever you finish a drawing and turn it in, I will look at it and make comments for you and send it back to you, and then you can fix whatever, revise whatever I suggested, and you can resubmit it. And you can do that, we can do that over and over again until you get a drawing that looks the way we want it to look. Now, if you put everything off until the end of the term, we don't have time to do that. So I encourage you to start working on drawings just as soon as you can so that you have plenty of time to get feedback and redo them. All right, that's all I want to say about that. Now, oh yes, and because we have a number of drawings, I have given you our official title block. When you work for a company, they will have their company title block. This is ours. And this is the one you should use when you, oh, stop it. Oh, I've got a temporary license going. This is what your title block will look like anyway. And early in the term, we will talk about why do architectural title blocks look the way they look. All right, let's come down here and start looking at what's in the class. So at the beginning of the term here, your very first assignment is called an introduction forum. And that is, let me click on it up here. That is so that we know that you really do intend to stay in the class. You didn't just register by accident and really you don't want to do it. You really do want to take the class. If you don't do this introduction thingy by the end of the first week, then you will get what they call administratively dropped. And that is so, if the college doesn't drop you and you really didn't intend to take the class, then they think you're in the class and they start sending you these bills. So this is the way to protect you so you don't get billed for a class you didn't want. So if you do want it, answer this question here and post it in the forum. Okay, going back here. Now let's continue looking at week 1. So here is a thing that Moodle calls a page. See that icon there? When you click on that, this thing opens, and this is the Moodle page. Here it says, this is our first PowerPoint. It's slides. So if you click on that, that will open the PowerPoint. I recommend that you download these PowerPoints and save them to your computer so you can refer to them. And then here's a video, a YouTube video of me discussing these PowerPoint slides with you. So I will expand on them a little bit and we'll talk about things. I'm going to use these breadcrumbs at the top of the screen to go back to where we were. So we were in week 1 right here. Here's our week 1. And there's our first quiz. Here's another quiz. Now, in week 1, we have a thing that says extra credit, which you might want to consider doing. I put this extra credit project in week 1 so that you have time to be thinking about it over the course of the term. It's not, here, let me open it. This is what it looks like. It's not due until the last week of the term, if you decide to do it. But I wanted to give you a chance to be thinking about it. The last week of the term, we are going to be talking, I just pulled up the schedule here. We are going to be talking about ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and universal design, which goes beyond the ADA. So you probably know the ADA is the minimum. It's the bare minimum what architects and contractors have to do to make a site accessible. It's the minimum. It's not necessarily good design. So let us think, if you want to do this extra credit, let us think about what can architects do to go beyond ADA requirements. And I suggest here there are a variety of categories of disability. You might pick one category. Here's one that I'm working on rather intensively right now, visual impairment. But I also feel real strongly about autism and mobility issues and a bunch of other stuff too. I really care about this subject. So pick a topic, like let's say you chose autism spectrum. Do some research and find out what have architects done to make spaces that are inclusive and accessible for people on the autism spectrum. And there are projects out there. They're very interesting. And then either write a paper or make a PowerPoint and submit it, and then I will share it with everyone so that everyone has access to the good research that you did. So that's what that is about. The last thing I want to say, I guess, is to point out this video here, how to find and use Google Shared Drive. Here's what that's for. When the term is over, you will no longer have access to this Moodle class, and all this stuff will go away. However, I have saved all of our drafting class materials on a Google Shared Drive, and you have access to that shared drive basically permanently after the term is over. So these are the drafting courses. Here is the commercial buildings class. I'll click on that. Here are the syllabus and schedule. In that folder here are the assignments in case you want to review those. Here are the lectures. So all the PowerPoints. I have in these Word documents pasted the video links to the YouTube videos in case you want to go listen to those again after the term. And then here's a folder for Beyond ADA. At this point, this is empty because you haven't done any research yet. But if anyone does want to do research, we can share your work here in this folder. So that's what that is for. Welcome to the class. I hope you have a good term.